It's the right way. The Smartest Giant in Town by Julia Donaldson and Axel Scheffler.
There's a picture of a Gruffalo.
I know. It says by the creator of the Gruffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah. George was a giant, the scruffiest giant in town. He always wore the same pair of old brown sandals and the same old patched up gown.
I wish I wasn't the scruffiest giant in town,
he said sadly.
Oh, he's not the only giant, though. There's two more giants there.
Yeah, they are quite big there. And then you got the little people.
Yeah. Oh, there's a cat wearing clothes.
And
a rabbit wearing clothes. Oh, Banksy.
Bandle. Banksy. I like that.
There's a Banksy rat.
Yeah.
And there's a duck on a trolley there.
Yeah, being pulled by somebody.
Oh, there's some funny things here. Look, oh, look. It's Father Christmas disguised as Blue Man.
Or something. It could be a Smurf. Oh, look. New giant sizes. But one day, George noticed a new shop. It was full of smart clothes, so he bought a smart shirt, a smart pair of trousers, a smart belt, a smart stripy tie, some smart socks even.
Stocks.
Yeah, stocks with diamonds at the sides and a pair of smart, shiny shoes.
Now I'm the smartest giant in town,
he said proudly.
That looks like a snake.
It does a little bit. Stripy snake.
How did he get inside the shop?
I don't really know.
Yeah, to change outside.
Maybe. George left his old clothes behind in the shop. He was about to go home when he heard a sound. On the pavement stood a giraffe who was sniffing badly. What's the matter? Oh no, that's you.
What's the matter?
Asked George.
That's me.
I know.
You spoiled it now because they thought there was a giant now and they know it's me. Come on.
We can start again if you want.
Crack on a bit.
It's my neck, said the giraffe. It's so very long and so very cold. I wish I had a long warm scarf.
More graffiti there, look, on the walls.
Yeah,
somebody peeking out from behind the curtains there, look. Cheer up,
said George, and he took off his stripy tie.
It doesn't match my socks anyway,
he said, as he wound it round and round the giraffe's neck. It made a wonderful scarf. Thank you, said the giraffe. As George strode towards home, he sang to himself. My tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe, but look me up and down, I'm the smartest giant in town. Nice one.
Thank you. Oh, look.
Uh-oh.
Missing giraffe. Found it! Is there a reward?
Do
I get a reward?
Don't think so.
Oh, look, he's got a wheelbarrow for the bricks because he's going to build a house.
Because he's a
for
little
the three little
piggy.
piggies. Yeah. That man's got a chicken under his arm.
Yeah. Do you think it's his or is it
Oh,
stolen it?
There's a little cat hiding around the corner there. Look, you just see its tail. There must be something going on down there, look, because they're all looking this way. She's looking that way. He's looking that way. He's looking that way. He's looking that way. He's looking up at the giraffe.
Yeah. George came to a river. On a boat stood a goat who was bleating loudly. What's the matter? Asked George.
It's my sail,
said the goat.
It blew away in a storm. I wish I had a new sail for my boat.
Oh dear.
Oh look, there's a mole.
Yeah. A mole?
Yeah, look.
I don't think so.
That looks like a mole.
No, it's either a...
It's a mole gone swimming.
No, dear, you know what that is, don't you?
No.
It's a duck's bottom.
Rude! Don't you look? It's a rude bum.
It's diving for
duck
fish.
Bum.
Needs to feed itself.
Cheer up,
said George, and he took off his new white shirt.
It can't come in untucked anyway,
he said as he tied it to the mast of the goat's boat. It made a magnificent sail.
Thank you,
said the goat. George strode on, singing to himself.
My tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe. My shirt's on a boat for a sail for a goat. And the things ain't words ain't making much sense. But look me up and down, I'm the smartest giant in town.
Did you just ad-lib again?
No, it's all there.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to read between the lines.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you said
Oh,
the words right the first time. It would make sense.
It's just a piggy driving a car.
Oh.
And that duck's gone.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm.
George came to a tiny ruined house.
Oh.
Beside the house stood a white mouse with lots of baby mice.
Oh, yeah, all the baby mice.
They were all squeaking.
What's the matter?
Asked George. It's our house, squeaked the mother mouse. It burned down and now we have nowhere to live. I wish we had a nice new house. Got burned down? Who do you reckon burned that down?
Chip pan fire.
Uh-oh,
Cheer up.
said George, and he took off one of his shiny shoes.
It was giving me blisters anyway.
He said, as the mouse and her baby scrambled inside. The shoe made a perfect home for them. Thank you, they squeaked.
Because they liked living in a house with no roof.
Where's the daddy mouse?
At work.
Okay. George had to hop along the road now, but
Boing,
he
boing,
didn't
boing,
mind
boing.
at all. As he hopped, he sang to himself.
My tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe. My shirt's on a boat as a sail for a goat. My shoe is a house for a little white mouse. But look me up and down, I'm the smartest giant in town.
You sing that ever so well.
I made the tune up myself.
I know. George came to a campsite. Besides a tent stood a fox who was crying.
What's the matter?
Asked George.
It's my sleeping bag.
Said the fox.
I dropped it in a puddle. I wish I had a warm, dry sleeping bag.
It's obviously a traveller fox.
Well, he should have tied it on.
He should have.
Yeah, it's his own fault.
Yeah.
Cheer up.
Said George, and he took off one of his socks with diamonds at the sides.
It was tickling my toes anyway.
He said as the fox snuggled into it. It made a very fine sleeping bag,
Thank you.
said the fox. George hopped on, singing to himself.
My tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe. My shirt's on a boat as a sail for a goat. My shoe is a house for a little white mouse. One of my socks is a bed for a fox. But look me up and down, I'm the smartest giant in town. I'm still having trouble saying a boat as a sail for a goat. Oh, look, the princess with her frog.
Frog, yeah.
Meghan and Harry. Only Harry still looks like a frog.
No. He was a prince.
No,
and now he's a frog.
no, he's no prince no more. No.
George came to a big squelchy bog. Beside the bog stood a dog who was howling.
I thought you were doing the dog.
No, you're the dog.
Was I? What voice was I going to do for a dog?
Gruff.
What's the matter?
No, that's George saying that anyway.
What's the matter?
Said George.
There's a bag. The dog voice is making my throat hurt. I'm going to do it like this.
Okay,
This bog.
said the dog.
I need to get across, but I keep getting stuck in the mud. I wish there was a safe, dry path. It doesn't hurt as much as the other voice. Cheer up.
Said George, and he took off his smart new belt.
Oh, that's right. It was squashing my tummy anyway.
He said as he laid it down over the bog. It made an excellent path,
Thank you.
said the dog. The wind started to blow, but George didn't mind. He hopped on, singing to himself.
My tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe. My shirt's on a boat as a sail for a goat. My shoe is a house for a little white mouse. One of my socks is a bed for a fox. My belt helped a dog who was crossing a bog. But my trousers are falling down, and I'm the coldest giant in town. And I didn't mess up the goat line.
I Suddenly, George felt sad and shivery and not at all smart. He stood on one foot and thought,
I'll have to go back to the shop and buy some more clothes.
He decided. He turned round and hopped all the way back to the shop.
Look how windy it is, that tree.
I know.
Blowing the leaves right on the tree.
And his trousers are falling down. He's only got one shoe on and he's got no shirt.
Been shopping.
Yeah.
No shirt. He's going to fall over in trousers.
I know. 3 bears.
If he pulled that tree out of the ground and then wedged it down one of his trouser legs, it'd make them fit tighter and then they wouldn't fall down.
That's so not a good idea.
And it'd save him some money. He'll have to
But
go back to
when
the shop.
he got there, it was closed,
Oh no!
cried George. He sank down onto the doorstep and a tear ran down his nose. He felt as sad as all the animals he had met on his way home. Then out of the corner of his eye,
That's his eye.
he saw a bag with something familiar poking out of the top. George took a closer look.
That looks like a pub. It's got a pub sign. My gown!
He yelled.
My dear old gown and sandals.
George put them on. They felt wonderfully comfortable.
I'm the cosiest giant in town.
He cried, and he danced back home along the road.
Why would he leave? Look, you need to keep your vest on.
He should have kept the vest, actually.
Keeps you warm.
I'm hoping he kept these undies on as well. Actually, yeah, he did, because they're not there.
I think he's got itchy bum, look.
Oh.
And a scratch. Well, the duck can show his bum, he can scratch.
Outside his front door stood all the animals he had helped. They were carrying an enormous present.
Come on, George!
They said.
Open it!
George untied the ribbon. Inside was a beautiful gold paper crown and a card.
Look inside the card, George!
Said the animals. George put the crown on his head and opened the card. Inside it said, your tie is a scarf for a coal giraffe. Your shirt's on a boat as a sail for a goat. Your shoe is a house for a little white mouse. One of your socks is a bed for a fox. Your belt helped a dog who was crossing a bog. So here is a very fine crown to go with the sandals and gown of the kindest giant in town.
I thought you was going to sing it.
I thought you were going to say it with me.
I don't know, I've done all the other singing. I thought I'd let you do the
that's
solo.
fine. Solo.
The end.
The end, indeed.
George wished he wasn't the scruffiest giant in town.